Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Mindset Podcast. This is our episode 4, where we explore the strategies and stories behind successful entrepreneur from all walks of life. And of course, we have a special guest this afternoon today who is very successful in her field of business. So right now, whoever is tuning in at this time, especially if you are a student, this is the right channel for you. Whether you're a student or whatever degree that you are taking at the moment, this is your guide to developing a mindset and skills necessary to thrive in the ever changing world of entrepreneurship. Let us be inspired and empowered by one of the success coaches of TUA, who's an expert in when it comes to entrepreneurship. Let's hear it and let's welcome Michelin Dapo.
Hello, Ali. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're very busy at this time. And of course, looking forward for this conversation. A lot of students and even non-students, are really looking forward to learn from you because you're one of those people who are very successful in this field, right? So thank you so much for saying yes to this. And let's start about rolling. Obviously, they want to get to know you as well and what your business is all about. But let's start with the first question. Maybe can you share your journey as an entrepreneur, right? It could be many years ago. I don't know when did it start, and how the university or institution, like university experience, played a role in shaping your entrepreneurial mindset.
Well, thanks, Lee. Well, first of all, I'll just talk about a little bit about myself and my background, so they would understand how I ended up opening a business, a manufacturing ice cream business. So first of all, my background is a chef, and I worked in five-star hotels, mainly in the pastry kitchen, and then in restaurants, wherein again I was in a dessert section. So throughout the years, I've met a lot of pastry chefs, some of them from overseas, and one restaurant who had an Italian chef trained me to make cold desserts, so gelatos. So that's where my interest came about. And then throughout the years, of course, I still worked as a chef and then decided to change my field um, to education. So there's a lot of changes in my career. And while doing that, of course, when I've shifted to the education industry, I still have the longing of this. What else can I create? I still want to cook, but I can't do shift jobs anymore because I'm working in the university. So that's where this drive also started, wherein, okay, maybe I'll just focus on my strengths, something I'm good at, and maybe start off a business out of it. So that's where my husband and I, we started an ice cream business here in Sydney. So aside from that, the university has also helped me, wherein I think this was during COVID, and I studied my master's in business administration. So that course helped me, or it gave me more skills and knowledge how to write a business plan, how to deal with B2B transactions, business communications, dealing with suppliers, and so much more. So overall, how to run a business. I know how to cook, I know how to create, but there's a lot more things behind that. So that course helped me. And I think here in Australia, there's so much potential to start up a business.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And with that, I'm also excited to learn from you, not just the students all over the world who's watching right now, and even non-students, they'll be able to pick up some golden nuggets from you. And this is really exciting. And follow-up question, Michelin, what are some effective strategies or maybe strategies for identifying business opportunities and conducting maybe a market research in a university setting?
For me, I think it's good to really work with a diverse background where we're very cultured here in the university setting. So let's say networking is one of them. but also aside from having a professional network, you do your personal networking wherein you talk to your colleagues, have a good relationship with them. You can also observe what they like to eat, their cuisines. You ask them questions, what are the things that you miss having back home or flavors that excite them. So identifying business opportunities is going and having groups with a diverse background setting here in the university. So you can do your networking, you can work around them, and you ask them questions. Each individual would have different strengths, and it's good that you collaborate well with them. When you do your market research, you ask them certain questions like popular. For me, it's a food business, so popular food items in their country, what they miss, or let's say when it comes to ice cream, which is my business, I ask them, oh, is this flavor resonate with you, or does it feel like you miss home? It's when you try this flavor out. So that's one thing for me, because aside of doing my market research in a university, you know, as students or my colleagues, we also go out. We eat a lot, and we talk about food. I guess food is a comfort thing for everyone. And I also noticed here that, let's say, after eating, we have dessert or we go for an ice cream. It's mostly the basic flavors that we have. So vanilla or chocolate, cookies and cream, but not so much on the Asian sides of flavors. So that's where it really prompted me to, maybe I can have a niche here. I can start an ice cream business, trying to elevate flavors of Asia, for example. So that's where it all started.
That's good to know, Michelle. Especially if you are a chef or those who love baking as well, and if you have that mindset of like doing a business, and it's good tip as well, or a strategy that you do networking, or if you like, you can go food hopping or dessert hopping if you want to put up a business about desserts and all that. That's good to know, and also feedback and brainstorming, isn't it? Right?
Oh,
That's
and
really
Lee,
good.
if
Good
I
start.
could add on that, I
Yeah, yes,
bring
please.
some goodies here at work. So they're able to try, yeah, so I bring some cookies, brownies, ice cream sandwiches, different
Yeah.
examples. But yeah, sometimes I ask for feedback. So how is it? How's the texture?
That's right. And you can elevate the flavor as well after that. That's good. That's really good.
Yes.
Testimonial is very important in any business or future businesses as well. Thank you for that, for sharing that very straightforward strategies. And for all of you guys who are watching right now, you know what to do. Think of what resonates you as well, and what is your passion. If you like clothing as well, maybe you can check on different sort of like styles and everything. So there's so many businesses that you can do, not just the food business, but other things that would resonate you, and that is really your passion, and you love to
Also
do it.
with, yes, I agree with that. And also with starting a business, think of something you like to do, right? Or
Yeah,
wherein you excel, because that's where you will be good at. And then, of course, your product would be good and you
yeah,
would enjoy doing it.
true. And if you don't, let's say for example, if me, I want to have a restaurant, but I don't have a background of a chef or anything about cooking, I won't dive into that kind of business if I don't have any idea about it. I don't have the skills, I don't have the tools. I need something that I already have, like an asset within me, or maybe it's my passion, things like that, that I could level it up or elevate it to the right sort of like pacing, would be great and more effective at the same time, because you already have that startup sort of like, what you call that, like, your
Uh,
niche already, and I want to
yes.
do this. It's just a matter of moving forward and making taking into
Y-
putting everything into action. It's really
Yeah,
good.
you just
Thank you so
have
much
to
for
do
that.
it. Yeah.
All right, Michelin, thank you so much for sharing that. It's really interesting to know this, and I want to do some business as well. I'm sure a lot of you guys wants to start up your business right now. Follow up again with what you have mentioned a while ago. How can students develop a comprehensive business plan and strategy to set themselves up with, or to set themselves up for a success in their entrepreneurial ventures?
First, that what they have to really do is research the market. check out what's missing out there, or what do they think customers would want. Or I often think about, you're the problem solver. That's how I see it, on how they can start up on something. How can they solve something and offer that to consumers? Um, Aside from that, they would think about, how will it be received by consumers? Is it just going to be a one-off, or a returning consumer, or customer? So think about crafting or claiming your niche, wherein you emphasize and the importance of clearly articulating your business ideas to identify your niche, because you need to stick to that. Okay.
That's
um,
good. It's a good plan.
yeah, you really have to stick on what you want to do, because if you don't have that structure, or you're not really definite about those ideas that you have, you can go astray.
Michelle, what are the key financial management, like if there's any principles out of that, and finding some options that students should be perhaps aware of when to start their business at a university level?
Maybe they can explore alternative funding sources, such as grants, pitch competitions, crowdfunding. There's actually a lot. You can also take advantage of the university resources, such as, trying to get entrepreneurial subjects, also mentorship programs, which our university offers. We have Mentor Connect. So in those platforms, they can start thinking about, funding options, because they're going to have group discussions. They would be thinking about other principles of financial management, wherein they are in a group setting and start talking about those ideas. But of course, I think when they are only starting at the university level, the first thing they have to do is, okay, how much am I going to fork out as a capital, right? They need to start doing their business plans, their forecasting, budgeting. Um, how much can they put out, and what would be their forecast in terms of profit? This would all depend, because they really need to do calculations first, so that when they are writing the business plan, they could actually see, oh, is this business actually going to be feasible or not? Or is it just, am I dreaming about this? Is this going to be a realistic one? Depending on the numbers, depending on the data, and also they can do the research of what others are doing, right? So they can set it as an example, and then just look into the process of, um, in terms of other expenses that they would come across, would be their OPEX and their COGS. So maybe when they start running their business, they would think, we're really making money out of it. But they have to consider those expenses, because at the end of the day, they would probably be getting less after paying out all the bills, right? Even if they're making,
Correct.
selling a lot.
You know, putting up a business is not that is easy. It entails financial, sort of like, what you call that, financial plan, and what will be the outcome in the income and the whole thing about it. So it's good. It's a good point there, that they can study or they can enroll for something that has a, what you call that, a subject that would help them understand about financial management principles and funding
Yeah,
options at the same time, and that would give them more idea on how to put up and how to start up a business. Thank you so much
yeah.
for that. Sure.
In Torrance, it's very flexible, because you can also pick your other elective subjects, which students would
Nice.
have the advantage. So let's say at the end, if you're majoring on a certain course, but you wanted to put up a business one day as a goal, you can pick on business subjects, or entrepreneurial subjects,
Hmm.
or
That's good.
financial management subjects as your elective. And you can
Yeah.
incorporate that with your um, primary course.
Nice. And the best school to go to is TUA, Torrance University in Australia, if you're in Australia, of course. Now, apart from the financial strategies or financial management principles and funding options, obviously they have to think about when it comes to business, the branding, the marketing, right? So, can you provide practical tips and strategies for marketing and branding, like branding startup on a limited budget?
There's a lot of apps that are free. Okay, so they are free graphic design tools. For example, Canva. You can start building your brand there from a blank slate, right? You can also ask advice from your team members. They can have other insights on, giving you feedback on how to start off your branding, or your startup. Other ideas could be looking into social media, tap into social media because that's free marketing if you have a limited budget. You just have to make sure that you got your brand out there, or your branding. Another thing, I think from my experience, when you start doing your branding is you look at those social media, for example, Instagram. You could see other people posting their businesses there, right? And then most of the time they would inspire me on, this is how maybe I should do my graphic design and so on. So you're right now in this world of tech. There's a lot of designs out there, or that could also inspire you to create your own design. But definitely,
Definitely.
if you have limited budget, a social media like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, if you say your business is growing, you can put ads out there through social media, but that would be a paid account. But yeah, that's actually where I started.
Agree with you. Good thing now after the COVID or even during COVID situation, the world has shifted into an online opportunity. And there's so many platforms, social media platforms that you could go to: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, what else? Twitter or
You
um,
also have
and
our influencers, right? Who can
yeah,
promote
that's
your
right.
product in their social media because they have a
Yeah,
lot of followers. And those things are, you can do those with a limited budget because what
definitely.
you want is to have your product out there, tried by other people because word
Yeah,
of mouth. It,
definitely. And I guess even whether you have a limited budget or you have so much budget when it comes to starting up a business, because of the social medias right now and some influencers as well, whether it's on YouTube to the different platforms, it's kind of easier to build up some marketing strategies, right? And the branding itself. So, guys, for those who are watching right now, you know what to do. If you're not a social media fan, I don't think you can do anything about it right now because everything has shifted into an online opportunity. Whether you are a tech savvy or not, I think you just
mm-hmm.
have to go with the flow of where the world is actually rolling right now. It's
Yes.
very it's all of social media's technology. So I
And
think you really need to start understanding the outcome of
yes,
social
and
media.
aside from marketing, would also be your packaging. I tell you, packaging, if your package is
Yeah.
nice, people will grab it. Doesn't matter the price.
It's
That's
part
what
of
I
it's part
notice,
of
if you go
branding.
to groceries, for example,
Yeah.
even with your child, if she sees something colorful or attractive,
Mm.
they take it. They won't look at the price, they would just take it.
Mm, true. And that's branding, isn't it? And
That's
I know
branding.
when you are asking, let's say if you're outsourcing somebody to do your logo or to do your marketing, whatever it is, sometimes it's expensive. But because of the online opportunity, you can outsource outside of the country because they're more
Yes,
cheaper
that's
as well if
true.
you want to. That's
Yeah.
part, again, one of the tips, practical tips that we can do in order for you, if you have a limited budget, outsource outside of the country. And there are actually websites that you can go to, that you can reach out from all of these skillful and talented individuals when it comes to marketing,
Creating,
branding, and all
yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah,
true.
you can reach out to them. There's a website. I don't know what website do you normally use if you want to, if you're willing to share. Where do you
That's a question.
outsource for those who have limited budget? Because you started from scratch and now you are in that, like, more than the peak of the mountain right now. You're beyond that
You'll
right
you'll
now.
see more of those. I think for me, it's always the social media platform of Instagram. Um,
Instagram, yeah.
y-
A lot of
Easy to
younger
read.
millennials
Yeah,
there, and
and
Facebook.
also Facebook, not so much for me, but mostly
Oh, is
Instagram
it?
because yeah, that's where I
And TikTok,
started.
perhaps. That's good to know. So you have already, guys, you have an idea. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. You can choose, and if you need some help as well, if you need a virtual assistant, there they have a lot of choices to go to. You can outsource outside of the country, and there's a website that you can go to. I think you can Google that. Mr. Google can help you with that one, or maybe ask someone from the school. If you're a student, you can ask some of like the professors or whatever. Maybe they have an idea how you can do your marketing and branding. Thank you so much for that, Micheline. It's very helpful and very informative. Now, can how can students in a way foster innovation and creativity in their entrepreneurial endeavors while navigating the academic environment? Yeah, how can they do that? Some
I
people
know
would say,
it
"Oh, it
can be
might be hard. I'm not into that."
stressful. Yeah. Well, on my experience, before I started the business, I remembered I was working full time. I was doing my master's and then starting off a business. All of this is happening while I have a toddler. So aside from those things, I'm also a mom. So it really requires a combination of mindset, your strategies, and practical action. Also, you need to embrace growth mindset because let's say if there will always be obstacles that would come your way, okay, but then you think of them as opportunities because you need to learn that if your project doesn't go as planned, you can then reflect on what you did wrong and how can you learn from it, how can you improve, how can you do better. Okay, aside from that, look into subjects in business and entrepreneurship, even financial management, and enroll into those subjects. Maximize the resources of your university because those resources can actually have real life projects or real world projects. They could have case studies, they could have discussions that actually can stimulate creative thinking and problem solving. So that's what I think they could foster innovation and creativity with their entrepreneurial endeavors while they are studying.
That's good to know. And I love what you have mentioned. Growth mindset is very important. See, even though you are such an intelligent person, wealthy or ready to rock the world when it comes to business, if your growth mindset is not stable, that would pull you down and you won't be able to succeed. You won't be able to move forward. If you have a good mindset, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important you are focused with your goal, and apart from that, you need to know your why are you doing this business, so that you have to anchor it together, so you can, no matter what are the challenges, you'll be able to overcome those obstacles. And speaking of obstacles, Michelle, can you what are some common challenges that students or maybe anyone could face, and during the course of planning of doing the business, or already the business is already running, and how can they overcome them?
So I think one of the challenges, well, most challenges students would have would be their time management, aside from finances, okay, their financial management. It's always time and money, not just with studying. It's everywhere, That's very common. So as a student and as a young entrepreneur, or you're planning to do a startup, you have to make sure that you have good time management. Okay, you need to balance your time from university and doing a business startup. You need to have a schedule. Otherwise, you're gonna be burnt out with all the things that you have to do with university or your academics, plus trying to build an empire or a business. Okay. Um, Try to prioritize on your tasks. Otherwise, you can get really tired and get burnt out if you don't have those priorities set in line. In terms of finances, you need to be very strict when it comes to budgeting. You know, set aside a certain amount just intended for a business startup. Okay, because if you're really good with budgeting, you won't end up getting a lot of your personal savings. Okay, you don't want to exhaust all of those just for a startup.
That's interesting to know, Michelin. And another follow-up here question, and this was actually asked by a few students before. This was last year, and I remember this that if you, when it comes to scaling, can you share some insights or advice on scaling or growth strategies for startups? You know, specifically tailored to the university setting.
I think my advice there would be balance your academics with your side hustle. Okay? Your education and your qualification comes first. So what you can do is engage and connect with alumni network other than networking events related to your industry because you could already see firsthand what goes within the industry or what happened because they have the experience. At the same time, those alumni network can also mentor you. You maximize your university resources, and yeah, as what I've said before, you need to manage your time wisely. Don't drown yourself on creating new concepts all the time. Try to focus on one that you are really good at. You hone it, you practice it, and then you perfect it. Okay, focus on your strengths, on what you are good at.
I love that. I can hear the mentorship, ability of Michelin Dapo here. Speaking of that, and I'm also learning, Michelin. I'm enjoying listening to this, and it really boosts my confidence in a way to think of what business should I start in the future, this beginning of this year, which is really good. Thank you. I'll contact you soon. How is it important, Michelin, for a student or anyone who's watching right now, whether you're a student or not, to seek for mentorship from an experienced industry professional like you, because you are on the food sort of category,
In the
and I'm on the
hospitality
health
food
category,
business. Yes.
hospitality, something like, sorry, did I say food? Hospitality, professionally. So how is it important for any students or anyone to seek for mentorship? What if I have already that ability and talent? I know my passion already. I know what to do. I know how to do social media, etc. But how important to seek for a mentorship?
Um, Finding a mentors who have experience in those fields is really important. So you can listen to them firsthand. Okay, they can talk about their failures and how they were able to achieve it, or to overcome those situations. Because it will also give you an idea on, okay, I have a problem that I'm encountering and how am I able to solve it? And sometimes those problems that you are encountering would have been probably or has happened to your mentor. It's really good to work closely with those mentors because they would really guide you to ensure that every time there's something wrong, there's a failure, there's a problem happening, they are able to navigate with you in those certain challenges. Okay. Also find someone that who can mentor you that has experience in business startups or entrepreneurship in your specific industry. But definitely those mentors can give you valuable insights aside from your university professors, alumni. Yeah.
Definitely. And speaking of that, obviously mentors are already experienced in their own industry, whether they're in hospitality, maybe health, etc., whatever business they have at the moment. But then, if your mindset, again, what we've talked about a while ago, is not stable, you need a coach. Just like Michelin and myself, and other success coaches here at TUA are always ready to support you guys when it comes to goal setting. We make sure
Mm.
that you know your goal, you focus on your goal, you know what are the possible challenges, and we make sure that there's a timeline. We know exactly what are the proven strategies in order for you to overcome those challenges at the same time. And we need to know your whys as well. Without that, you won't be able to focus, you won't be resilient, you won't be motivated. At the same time, you have that negative self-talk, the self-beliefs. Again,
Yes.
self-talk can either undermine you or empower you. So you also need a coach and a mentor. Yeah. So
Yes.
hopefully, guys, you
And
can reach out to us as well if you need a coach and a mentor.
yes, to add on that, in terms of goal setting, the coaches would already tell you if, okay, is it realistic? What you're doing would be achievable or not. Sometimes, I encounter certain goals that are too, what do I say this? It's too dreamy or not realistic because there's no data into it. How would they really achieve their end goal? How are they going to come around it? Because there are certain things that I've encountered when they write a goal. It's not a smart goal method. That's what I say.
There must be clarity as well with their smart goals, right? So that, when they evaluate, if it's not working, you need to reevaluate again. But
Reevaluate,
again, if it's not
yes, and
straightforward,
revisit.
yeah. If it's not focus and there's no clarity, then that's not smart at all. That's why you need a coach, a success coach. At the same time, who are experienced in this certain industry that you love to do, then you need a mentor as well, because a coach and a mentor is different too. So yeah, that's good. Thanks, Michelin, for that. Now, talking about a while ago, you've mentioned about you need to balance your studying because our podcast today is all about developing that entrepreneurial mindset strategies for students, right, in any field. So when it comes to the time management, how can you actually balance academic responsibility and entrepreneurial pursuits? What sort of like time management tips would you like to share to them? Practical time management tips, please. That'd be great.
Balancing academics and your entrepreneurship or your startup, it's exciting, of course, but don't neglect your academic responsibilities. That's very important. You strive to balance between your studies and other entrepreneurial projects because at the end of the day, you're going to leverage on your academic knowledge to enhance your entrepreneurial skills or vice versa. So it doesn't mean that when you have this startup and you started operating and it's successful that you forget about your academics. It doesn't work that way. You always need to make sure that you are able to complete your qualifications because that's very important. That's where you start getting your knowledge and skills. And then you apply it through, let's say, a business startup.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Now, Michelin, I know you have mentored a lot of students before. Can you share some success stories and what were the lessons learned, from those or from their experiences? If you don't mind sharing. You don't need to mention a name, but in general. Thank you.
In general, I think I've mentored and coached a lot of students during COVID because in the hospitality sector, it's really down during that time and very difficult. But I've managed to assist the students, gave them my advice on how to move forward. And well, most of my students that I've had graduated already. Um, they would probably already be working in five-star hotels, in cruise ships. Some of them put up their own business, um, cafes, for example, which is I'm really proud of because it's nice to be part of their journey on their university journey, and then when they finish, they bring those words of wisdom that you've shared with them. And yeah, I remember I had one who opened up a cake shop that's very successful now. She's overseas. and I helped her in the kitchen.
I'm having goosebumps here. That's really good. Maybe you can mentor me and the rest of those people who are watching right now. Maybe with a discount, okay, per hour, right? But thank you. It's very informative as well today. I've learned so much, to be honest with you. And it's I'm looking forward to any students, especially at TUA, to really like move forward and think of what they love to do and be successful even whilst they are actually still studying. It You can make it happen, guys. You can make it happen. And thank you for sharing, Michelin. Now, one last thing. I'm sure you have lots of things to share today, but you have other things to do as well. But I appreciate your time today. What general advice do you have to everyone who are watching right now, who are considering pursuing entrepreneurship as a career path? Whether they're at the university, at the moment, or maybe just graduated.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Um, Embarking on an entrepreneurship journey during university can be both challenging and rewarding at the same time. I tell this to my students: start early, don't wait until you graduate to start an entrepreneurial journey. So you need to start to explore. Explore those ideas, your passion, while you're still in university. Use the university resources, workshops, mentorship programs to make sure that you kickstart on a good platform or a good foundation when you do your entrepreneurial business. um, Learn from your failures. Often, this is part of entrepreneurship. Okay, there will be roadblocks ahead, and you need to embrace that because that's a learning experience for you. It's an opportunity for you to grow. It's time for you to analyze those failures and understand why certain things didn't work out that way, so that you can use those lessons to improve your future decisions when you start your business. Also, I'd say stay curious. You always seek the skills and knowledge because in this business, it's very dynamic, it's always changing. You need to always adapt to make sure that the business grows successfully. You need to keep up with the industry trends, technology advantages or advancements, and study consumer behavior. Okay, because that's the only thing you would also learn how to adapt and innovate your business.
Wow, I'm having goosebumps. It's like a bomb, It's like it replenishes everything, and such amazing informative session today, Michelin. Is a mind-blowing conversation today, and thank you for doing this podcast. A lot of people all over the world, not just at TUA, will learn so much about this, and they'll be inspired and empowered to start and think of what business could they actually start planning, the marketing, the branding, and all the things that we've discussed today. And for those who are tuning in right now, please, you can replay this and watch again, pause and play, learn so much every day, of course. And Michelin, thank you for sharing your story, you're sharing your ideas, the tips and strategies as well, how to become a successful entrepreneur. Just like you, congratulations. The ice cream. What's the name of the ice cream again,
Thank
if you don't
you.
mind sharing?
So my ice cream business is called Kai and Creams. It
Kai
used to
and
be
cream.
Manila Street, but as I've said earlier, you need to innovate, you need to grow. So
That's
before,
right.
it's called Manila Street because we are only focusing on Filipino flavors. But there's a market for Asian flavors here in Australia. So I had to do my
Nice.
rebranding and call it Cayenne Creams so I can touch on other Asian flavors and start distributing in other Asian groceries in Sydney and also in Victoria, not just specifically for the Filipino restaurants or grocers, because
Yeah,
I
it's a good
noticed that
choice.
there is a demand not just for Filipinos, but
Yes.
this is very multicultural, so there's always a demand for new flavors. And
Yes. Ice cream is for everyone.
yeah, it's a
To be honest with
comfort
you.
food. And I'll
It is.
tell
Well
I,
done.
I also tell my students, you can start any business as long as you put your heart into it and also that you have the mindset to pursue those goals, okay? And of course, have the right um, courses or subjects
Yeah.
to make sure that you'll be in the right path when you start up
Love
your
that.
business.
Love that. And if it doesn't work, as we have been talking about today, never give up. Keep reevaluating your goals, your smart goals. And, one day it will actually level up and it will actually push again to ascend and not to descend. So never give up on your dream. And
Mm.
again, a dream without a timeline will always be a dream. Seek a mentor and seek a coach as well to help you out in this journey. So thank you, Michelin, and sit back and relax.
Thank you, Lee, for
To
having
everyone,
me.
yeah, stay tuned again. Just stay there, Michelin, and just relax because you deserve it. Now, thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in. We hope that you have gained valuable, insights and inspiration to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit. So remember, no matter what is your field of study or whatever you're doing at this time, or developing an entrepreneurial mindset is the key to unlocking your full potential. So always remember, stay amplified, and you have the power to create the life that you desire. You can do it. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next time for our next episode. This is Lee. Have a good day.